Then emptiness is the, okay, if emptiness is not just emptiness, then how? Because the emptiness is a union with some special things. And first, we little bit talking about the union of the bliss and emptiness. So when we have realized on the emptiness, when we have experienced on emptiness, then automatically there is bliss. We don't want to train in for the sake of, particularly for the bliss, right? So the emptiness is union with the bliss, and emptiness is the union with the clarity, and emptiness is union with the appearance. And in order to appearance and emptiness is union, or unity or something. And then the emptiness and the bliss is unity. Emptiness and clarity is unity. So union, right? These things are the quality of the emptiness. So we have to understand that things through practice on the emptiness. Otherwise, it's very possible the emptiness is just a mere emptiness. Emptiness is just a emptiness. Then the bliss has actually, we have many kind of the classifications. For example, the joy, supreme joy, right? Joy and supreme joy, and 4 different joys. These things are also including bliss. So through the experience of the emptiness, these joys come, and these bliss come or erase from the mind. So through this way, what happens is then normal over kind of the happiness are then very simple. That's where then we did not attachment with this. If due to the practice on the emptiness, there's no joy, there's no bliss, then we don't want to effort for the sake of the emptiness. Instead, then I think the practice of emptiness, going to sleeping, take some medicine of the sleeping, to going to sleeping continuously, that is much better than the practice on emptiness, really. But due to this practice emptiness, there is bliss. Then these 4 joys, usually we teach on the Vajrayana. That moment we talk with between the consort and the Yidam deities. That moment we talk about like that. But in the Mahayana, also we're talking about the emptiness. They have kind of automatically. For example, the sun is rising up. At the same time, sun's rays is together. Ray of the sun is together. Or sun rays come, sun is not yet. Not like that. Right? So that's where the bliss, when you experience it on the emptiness, bliss come. Then this bliss is how? These blesses is speechless in order to. Such a supreme joy. It's a little bit funny. I say speechless and use the supreme joy. It's the supreme joy is first joy, but still there's more joyful than the supreme joy. But second of joy, right? But the bliss is much the deepest joy. So that's where we can say no special words. But how we figure them out is, if you are usually we have currently some happiness. If this is compared with the first joy among the 4 joys, if compared with the first joy, then if we have experience with the first joy, the normal over joys are not exactly joys. That's why we have no attachment with them. We easily just insult with them, because we don't care the normal joys. Because we have first joy. Among the four joys, if we have experience with the first joy, that moment the joy of the someone says, oh, I want to be in joy. That's why I use the cigarette. I want to be in joy. That's why I want to drink alcohol. That moment they are a little bit happy, but those happiness compare with the first joy, then this joy, happiness with the cigarette, happiness with the alcohol, those happiness are not happiness. For example, the light power is pretty much light, have a light, right? Shiny. But sunshine, then this light are almost become useless, right? That's why outside of the door, outside of the temple, we don't need light on the daytime. If we use the light outside of this house, but it's useless, right? Similar, simple happiness are compared with the first joy, then they are not happiness. They are suffering in order to. This is not just experience by the Buddha, okay? This is experience is just for in the normal way we figure them out. But we have joy and supreme joy and another two rest of joys. These four joys, they compare with the bliss or union, bliss union with the emptiness. If we compare with this, then this first joy and supreme joy, these joys are not looks like a joy. Make sense? Supreme joy and the joy or joys and supreme joy are not exactly joy. Because of we compare with the bliss. Then bliss is that's why it's such a deep and very what is called in order to like a speechless, no words. So through the emptiness experience it with the emptiness, then this bliss is come. That's where we have effort to achieve on stage of emptiness. We need happiness. After right now we need happiness. Before we become religious, we need happiness. After we become religious, we need happiness. And through the system of the religious, then our realizations and experience, our development, still we need happiness. And then we become Bodhisattva, we need happiness. We become Arahats, we need happiness. And we become Buddha, we need happiness. The little different is what? The different is the achieved enlightenment. We don't want to do efforts for the sake of happiness. We don't want to do anything for the sake of happiness because this is naturally happy. This, for example, nature of the sun is what? It's shiny, right? Light or something shiny. So we don't want to fix that to make shine something. But this light and power, they are not naturally shiny. That's why we make something. What is it called? This bubble? Bubbles, right? Light bulbs. Light bulb. They are people made them. So that's the way we have to do work with them. Similar, right now, for the sake of receiving the bliss, then we are on the efforts. We are practice meditation, learn, investigate, and something like that. And when we experience emptiness, at the same time have like that, and then during the way of our practice, sometimes have had, sometimes don't have, because of the emptiness. Our mind cannot sit on the emptiness 24/7. But on the Buddha's stage, then 24/7. Then on the emptiness, and then bliss. So that's where emptiness is union with the bliss. That's where then we have to have this emptiness realization on the emptiness. Make sense? Then second is the emptiness is union with the appearance. If emptiness are not appearance, emptiness are do not or does not union. Emptiness is not does not union with the appearances. Then what happened is it's like a nihilism. Like a nihilism, right? Nihilism. Then we are tendency towards one way, towards only emptiness. Then we reject lots of things. If we do reject, then after you become Buddha, you have no activities. You have no activities means you do not need particularly efforts to do something through your thoughts, but your Buddha's activities are still here. For example, Buddha Shakyamuni, enlightenment, become the Buddhas in usually historically 2,500 years ago, right? But still his activities are here in this world. So kind of these activities are nothing have had like that. But if you did not union with the appearance and the emptiness, then it's still not completely become Buddha. That let us know. So your appearances, you do not reject appearances. That's why you do not reject the karma. And you do not reject the interdependence. But then you still the appearances are your subject. For example, yesterday we little bit talking about the visualizations. These visualizations, right now we are do efforts for the appearance, for the sake of the visualizations. But then you are the growing up in the very higher levels. You don't want to particularly efforts for them, but they are in front of you. They are in front of you, but not truly exist. I mean, truly, they normally exist. They are just like a rainbow. The rainbow is just appearances due to the different conditions, right? Same like that, through your realizations, through the things, and from the nature of the Yadam deities, then its appearances in front of you. Right now we're talking about the Buddha's stage. Perhaps we are so distant, perhaps very close, but whether we are distances or close, it doesn't matter. But we are going to step by step through this way. Sometimes we have to visualize different Yadam deities. So if you do not means if emptiness and appearance are not union, then its visualizations comes from where? How to visualize, right? So this is you do something through this way, it's coming not like that. If naturally don't have, then it doesn't come if you try to do. For example, rabbit's head has no horn. No horn, right? If you try to see that for 100 years, but you cannot see that. Same like that, if appearance and appearances and the emptiness, they are not union, you cannot make a union. If they are not union, then through the appearance you cannot recognize the emptiness. Through the emptiness you cannot appearance our appearance. This is important. And then that next, if you want to the appearance, this you appear this appearance in front of your mind, but it clearly, okay. One is very possible. One misunderstanding through the teaching emptiness is we say everything's emptiness. Then you think it's become like a recipes. Everything's, for example, I buy from the yogurt in the grocery, grocery, right? And I buy yogurt, and I made a yogurt in my home, and homemade yogurt, right? If we mix them, what happened? Then we cannot separate them, right? If we thinking like that, but still not clear, that is. Makes sense? That's where clarity and union, this emptiness is union. That means clarity is exactly what normal things are. They are not mixed something. Two things make a mixed something, make a one things. If you do two things make one things, you are liberated from the main thoughts of the many, but you are not yet liberated from the one. If you did not liberate from the one, you are still not on the stage of Buddha. Make sense? For that reason, yesterday these four logics, among them, this third logic talking about the one and neither one or many. Make sense? That's where we have to liberate from the one, we have to liberate from the many. So if we liberate from the many is pretty easy, then the liberate from one. Let you keep in your mind that. Liberate from one is really difficult. Because of some examples sometimes we. So that's where we are liberated from one, we are liberated from the many, but still these appearances are exactly what we are appearance. For example, we appearance Vajrasattva. Everybody knows Vajrasattva. He has such a beautiful things, and the right hand to have the Vajra, and left hand to have the bell, and holding through the left side of the kidney, and the Vajra is holding through the main channel, this chakra, central chakra, and then he has such a beautiful decorations in order to 82 and 30 measures and the different marks of these qualities. If you cannot if you're talking about the emptiness, if you reject the appearance, and that next, if you rejected the clarities, then they are all become one things. Right? All become one things. Then from his head to feet, everything's become one thing. So then how to appearance there? It looks like what is called the three apples. Three apples. Then we make apple juice. Yeah, apple juice. Yeah, apple juice. After then, these three apples disappear. Then we make one juice, right? In the cup. Same, if we made like that, that is not right. Because we are liberated from the three pieces of the apples. But still we have identified with one object. Make sense? So that's where we need the clarity. Realization of the clarity. This clarity, what appearance is? If in front of you, Vajrasattva appearance in front of you when you visualize that they are his 82 and 32 and 80, those marks and measures are not mixed each other. So whatever on the pictures exactly similar like that exist. But this is emptiness. But it is appearance to you. Then which things, which powers, you are on the practice on the emptiness, which powers clearly they are not mixing each other's, which things make clearly give you informations. Because of the clarity of union with the emptiness, union, emptiness, and clarity. So there's three principles of things with the emptiness. Which are they? One is the bliss. Second is the appearance. Third is the clarity. Okay, so this clarity, clarity and appearance and this union, these three things are combined in order to union with emptiness, and you let you know first or have like that. Emptiness is not mere emptiness. And then you have to know that things. If you know that things, oh, those things have like this emptiness, then your mind is what happened. Your mind is more close and close, close and close, because of your enthusiasm is coming up, right? If we said somewhere have such a beautiful places, then we would like to go there. Or there's some different special things somewhere, then we have this interesting to go there to see them or to do something. Otherwise, if we don't have this kind of we don't know, then we have no interest in to go there, and we don't have interest to achieve them. If this top of the mountains, I say the top of the mountains have done some very such a gorgeous things and something. If I explain with you, then you automatically would like to go there. You would like to see them. But usually, why we are not yet go to the top of these mountains? we do not expect anything have something there, right? That's why we don't. So then usually we're talking about just emptiness. Then your understanding is, oh, emptiness is a mere emptiness. That's why then you have no that much interest in. And then you union with those things, then what happened is you do not reject this. In order to you can work with these samsaric styles. Samsaric style means the, for example, Nagarjuna says what? I don't do what do ordinary people, but I say what they say. I think that's okay. Make sense? Why he say what they say? Why he don't do what they do? What they do is lots of mistakes. Why they do lots of mistakes is they make cause of samsara again, rebirth in the samsara, because of the ignorance, because of anger emotion, because of the attachment, because of the jealous, because of self-pride. The 5 root of emotions and the 20 these branches of emotions. Through this way they make. That's why he say, what ordinary people do, I don't want to do that. But what they say, I want to say. If what they say, he don't say like that, then what happened? For example, in ordinary people say, smoking comes from fire. He said, smoking comes from fire. If he did not say smoking comes from fire, then where? Then he cannot connect it. Then he cannot teach in order to. His teaching is beyond of the people's mind, right? And also, similar those things that people say, if we plant trees, grow up these trees. If we seed the planting sow, right? Sow seeds, they grow up something. This he said that. If we milking from cow, yes, he says that milking from cow, that's where milk come from cow. Yeah. But then what they do is they think truly from the cow and come truly cow. Sorry, milk. they think like that, but then he think those things are illusion, these things are emptiness, but just the appearance, like that. And then normal people what think is the bliss is true with some simple things makes such a happy, such a joy. They think like that. That's why they do this. But then the Nagarjunas and the Buddha, they use the bliss of emptiness. That's where the simple things, they don't do that. If these simple things do it, it's very easy, everybody can do. But what they don't do is because they don't want to come in this samsara through the non-freely. If freely come to do something, freely come means it's the due to their some prayer, wish, the power of the supplications. So through this way they come and they do help continuously or continues or something, right? So this still we have many different specifically union with the emptiness, but right now I think if you understanding these kind of three, I think it's okay, because this is the like our drawer. This is the key to open your door of the emptiness, and then that may help your mind. I think may help, and then another thing is it's coming some enthusiasm. The enthusiasm is critically important. Once often I told like that, and without enthusiasm, and then anything. So we don't have enthusiasm, then we don't like to do something. If we don't like to do something, this is not deal with others. It is deal with oneself. So we all equally, we say we don't need suffering. That's why we equally same wish. We will liberate from the suffering. So sometimes we're talking about the suffering or suffering was suffering. Currently we are not seriously suffer. Sometimes we don't have a feel like that much. But sometimes in our life is like a zigzag, right? Zigzag. So up and down. So when sometimes the life is down and getting a lot of obstacles, that moment you have to learn lots of others suffering. Or if other people get these situations, or other people got that situations, or other people got these situations, then how about that? So that's where then by yourself, if once often I have had like that, it's I cannot bear, right? I cannot be patient with those things. So I want to liberate from the suffering. First you have this thinking, and then you see some directions how I will liberate. If I want to liberate from the ocean of samsara, then how? Which path? Which path is correct? If I play yogas, that it makes healthy. It makes help. It's very good, right? And talks with friends, that makes help. It's good. And you just take a long breath. Currently, maybe a little bit help. But right now we are talking about the liberation is, this means we are inherently, in order to need to liberate from the this situation of the suffering. So this way, then we have to focus towards the emptiness, and then we focusing on the emptiness. Then how? That is very important. That's where we talk a lot about these things. And then why is already we have why we want to focus. This is in the moment ago I told you like that. And then if I focus there, then they have some benefit. There is some benefit or not, right? it's real, it's some works or not. We have to think. That's where this just a simple few simple words, bliss, and then clarity and appearance. Just a few words. If through these words, if you think, oh, that's not that much, looks like not that much interesting. If you feel like that, then you have to learn more. If you think, oh, there is a kind of these qualities that I really need to achieve on there, I really need to achieve. If you feel like that, then that is your efforts. That is your diligence, your enthusiasm. So you have enthusiasm. Make sense? I think the emptiness, talking about the emptiness, maybe today we are stop there. And still we have few minutes, so among them, a little bit talking in this little kind of the general in this Buddhism, kind of the how flourish in Tibet, and how it is valuable about there. A little bit if I talk, because this is everything's interdependent. That's where they makes more your kind of the support to your efforts, maybe. But if it's I cannot say confidently it will give you some support to your efforts, but it's your check, okay? You check by yourself. Basically the Buddha Shakyamuni become enlightened, and since that time he mentioned that the Buddhism is flourish around the north side. So north side is the Tibet is the north side of the India, Bodh Gaya. So that's where he already mentioned it, or he said that, right? He taught like that. At the same time, then since I think this is a real. This Buddhism is come around the 8th century, but some of the little bit some Dharma books and some stupas and a little bit statues, those things are coming around the 7th century. 7 centuries. So through this way, then its Dharma is flourish in Tibet. But Tibet, this Dharma flourish in Tibet is not easy, not easily flourished there. For example, this is a natural, right? The knowledge is important right now, but this is not easy to be educated, right? We are not easy to be educated. Same like that, this Dharma is such a precious thing, so it's not easy to flourished around of the world. And also same like that, Dharma is not easily flourished in Tibet. If we're talking about the places, between Tibet and India have how many mountains? These mountains are not just simple mountains, not easily crossed. They have snow mountains. The Himalaya mountains are there. The higher snow mountains are there. If you try to cross in the winter, you will die through the cold into the snow. If you try to go in summer or something, then there are lots of deep forest too, and big rivers too. Then it's not easy to cross. And then they have many wild animals, tigers and some many wild animals. Then through this way, then special challenge is Tibet is completely cold place. India is completely hot country. Then one person, not easy to use that. There's one story. India have many, like a cow. I don't know, they're called a cow or something. But they do not have a fur, right? Hers. Fur. They do not have fur. But Tibet have yaks. They have long furs. Then the people say, why these Tibetan yaks have fur? India cows, why don't have the furs? And then they say, one from India, they have one cow or yak, I don't remember. Maybe cow. This cow try to go to the Tibet. And then he borrow or land. Maybe borrow the fears from another cows. Then he borrowed this all the fears from another cows, and then he wear these fears, and then he went to Tibet. But the Tibet land is such a beautiful. The grass have a lot of grass. They have their food is grass, right? That's why. Then he stayed there. He did not come back. That's where he deceived with another cows. Then all India cows has no fear, right? Fear. That's then they are in the very sunny but still same like our body. I mean they do not have the furs. Furs. Yeah. They do not have these furs. That's why they say like that. That is just story. But what I'm gonna tell through this phase, India, that means Tibetans very cold. Even though the yaks are domestic animals, but even though they need some like clothes, furs are instead of clothes. So that's why Tibet is a completely cold place, especially in the winter. And these snow mountains are 24/7, cannot melt them, right? That's where they are always exist there. And then India is such a hot place. Then we call India is Jakar. Why we call it Kar means white. Why we call that? In ancient, many in the majority of the seasons or majority of the time, they wear white t-shirt and white clothes. Why? Because the white clothes control the heat, helps a little bit cool. It's a black clothes. It's a gravity pull the heat, right? Yeah, that's where only they have especially suffering. Some family, parents or grandparents pass away. That day only they wear some different clothes. They changed this white clothes. Otherwise, most of the time they wear white clothes. That is just a saying. Not, I don't have proof, and no, not exactly. Anyway, what I'm gonna tell is they have such a hot place. So kind of this opposite. Then one person directly first to cross the mountains are not easy, right? They spend a life for the sake of Dharma. Spend the life. Many people pass away cross the mountains. That's number one. And the number two is the Dharma is precious things, precious jewels. For that reason, for Indian masters, not easily just let go this. If real they did not practice, then they not just teach. That's where they have some responsibility between the teachers and the students. teachers have some responsibility. Teachers have some need some knowledges and qualities. Students also need that. Through this way they teach. These precious things means not just for sale, right? But they have something. That's why it's difficult, especially first students are not easy to keep as a very strict rules. That's why if they did not keep those things, then did not give these teachings. That's one thing. And also, if you give teachings, talking about the emptiness, it looks like a beyond of the world. It's unfathomable things. So then it's not easy to understand. Only a moment, right? Only one day or few days or week or month or year. It's not easy, but it's dependent with the karma. If you already have karma in the past, then right now easily understand. That is accept because of the karma. Because in past life, if in this some instructions it says of the Tibetan masters, if you will die tomorrow, today you have to learn. If tomorrow you will not become educated, but next life you become educated, scholar or something. So that's where after accept karma, we have to accept those things. And then the Dharma is flourish in the Tibet, and then the Tibetan masters they're offering a lot of the gold and something to the Indian masters. This is for the sake of mandalas, right? In order to they spend the economic, they spend the life. They did hard work. Through this way, then they invited some masters of the Indian, and then they come through this way. Then Buddhism, this Mahayana and Vajrayana Buddhism is grow up in Tibet. And then to this grow up in Tibet, that it's kind of not easily, right? They have lots of obstacles. So through this way, grow up. But then it's depend, or already I mentioned it, it's depend of one's karma. So through the over karma, today we have the opportunity to practice on this, especially emptiness. And then future, you have more times to do practice about these things. And many subjects from the Nagarjunas, from the Shintadevas, from the Asangas, and many, this is the Nalinda masters. And then many of the, this Tibetan have 4 different lineages. So those lineages are come from India. They have different styles. Every lineages have different skills. Because of due to the teachers teach through the different skills. Through this way, they have different skills to way of the teaching, for make understanding and make relates, recognize and make the getting some experiences. So these are if future you have more time to focusing on there, I think it's very good. Very good means I totally appreciate on there. And then the Dharma has the 2 different right now in the both is actually Mahayana, but we say Sutara and Tantara, right? Tantara or Sutara. So this is a little different. I think this is on the majority or minorities. On the minority, we can teach the Vajrayana, and the majority we can teach the Mahayana. But this both final goal is the on stage of the emptiness. So that's where sometimes this talking about the qualities of emptiness. Some of Lao hearers, right? Who hears about the only there's one disciples of Buddha has 4 different students, 4 different kind of the students. So among them, some of the students we call the hearer students inside have, right? If they're diligent, they do efforts for practice. If they're burning their head, but still they have no time to remove this fire from their head, still they did practice. Did you remember in this book? We have it in this book. If they do like that, we are Mahayana practitioners, so that's why we want to do something, right? That's where those sanghas, her emptiness is, then they are totally suppressed. They are totally surprised. So through this way, we can judge it by ourselves. For example, you guys by your judge by your judgments, you check by your mind. When you heard emptiness, you have coming some enthusiasm or little bit scared. If you are more coming some enthusiasm, that means you have a great karma. So because you have enthusiasm to recognize the emptiness, so which means you have a great karma. If without great karma, you scared on the emptiness, which means I did not discriminate between the another and the Mahayanas. Okay, naturally, naturally, because this subject, right? This subject is such a jewels, such a what is called precious things, and then we talking about that. Then someone scared, someone have enthusiasm. So this is only depends with the karma. That's where if you have the kind of this enthusiasm with your mind, you have to more. You keep happy by yourself. Don't be afraid. Don't. If for me right now, if I did not pick up these examples, I cannot make sense with you. Cannot make sense with you. But this is we do not use instead of the divisive. We do not use for the discriminate. But this is for the keep informations in your mind, and you keep kind of the prod or something by yourself. Oh, I have a kind of these karmas. This karma is not easily. If this life you nothing to do particularly karma for the sake of the realization of the emptiness, in past or past of past, you did we did in order to throw this way. It's coming. We met Dharma. After we met Dharma, particularly we have to talk on the emptiness. So this is not easily will get subject. This subject is not easily talks, you know. And when we are talking about this emptiness, the moment you have more, you know, in order to you can judge it by your mind. I can judge it by my mind. And how about talking about the emptiness? Then it through these teachings, it kick out the karma, or stay more trust with the karma. Talking about the emptiness is trust more the Buddha stage, or is kick out the Buddha stage. So this is you check by yourself, and then if almost you think you can be honest by yourself, and you think, oh, it kick out my Buddha stage. If you think that means you have to fix it again. You have to fix it again. That moment you need the teacher. You need a teacher. Then you make questions, ask. Then I think like that, right? So then how fix this? That is very important. If you don't care about those things, you do not ask about those things. I mean, if you have your situations like that, you do not ask, you did not take care. Then there's a if you misunderstand emptiness, then your small wisdom is kicked out. In the Buddha's teaching have like that. So that's where carefully the check do with this emptiness, practice on the emptiness. And then right now we have in order to this tradition is came in here since 2,500 or more, almost 100 years, 206 years, 600 years, right? 2,600 years, almost. Someone says 50, 70. Someone counting the 70 something. Someone count this. Now majority is 2,500 years. So since from that time, then coming is exist, and right now we have this opportunity, and then we in the daily life. It's really possible because still we are with the friends. Our friend is grasping, so grasping control with our life since beginningless. So that's where it's still sometimes we made some mistakes. It's possible when you made mistakes, act without thinkingly or some reasonably or something, or non-freely. If you made some mistakes, the mistake from my side, I made a mistakes, I do confess, purify by myself. I know by myself, right? So this through the teaching, through the listening, the teaching, through the practice, through the help others. That's where these things are for the sake of purify. And from your side too, you it's possible made some mistakes. It's clear with you, by yourself, and come here to purify yourself, make clear, make purify and confess those things. That is your job. This is my job. But we don't judge you for each others, right? If I can pure others' mistakes clearly, then if I do judge, it's still fun. But it's not in my hands, right? So thinking through this way. So for purifiers, not always, the purifiers not always some only one locations. Not always with one room. Not always with some, purifier means some, not always individually do something. Purify means together, gathering, purify. Share, listen, concentrate, meditate, and so on. So that's where then we are. Thank you so much for be patient through my teaching because of my English. And right now, then we are dedicate this. Since during the dedicate, let you remember that past Buddhas, what they did, present Buddhas, what they are doing, future Buddhas, what they will do. And in the past life, what you did, virtues, present, what you are doing, virtues, and the future, what you will do. All these virtues collect and then together dedicate for welfare, mother sentient beings. Okay, thank you. So this page 16. Your 1,000 arms are the 1,000 Chakravarti kings. Your 1,000 eyes are the 1,000 Buddhas of this fortunate area. I prostrate to the Venerable Chinese who shows whatever is needed to subdue those to be subdued. Om mane me ore. 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 O mane pe me ore, o mane pe me ore, o mane pe me ore. Gyewan de ye nyar de da ye re se wan zhe zhe ne ro wa jie jian ma le ba de ye sa lang ge par shu. In English, this 16. Through this virtue, may I swiftly attain the state of Chinreze, and thus establish all sentient beings without exception in that glorious state of Chinreze. Thank you so much.